if you're using the basic MPIs and you're not using more advanced MPIs, which we're going to be showing you now, you think this is a pretty kick-ass little campaign. Sure. 64% cold, 21,000 new visits of 33,000 clicks, and a effective cost per new visit of 15 cents, where this campaign is usually getting 56 cents. So wow, that is fantastic.
You're looking at this and you're going, man, I'm smart.
Exactly. Like, look at all the cold traffic that's cheap and is must be clicking on the video ad because they're fantastic.
Yep.
And then you start looking at predictive indicators. Okay, what's the next logical step of your business, not of a general company campaign? This is only to do with your company. What is the next logical step that you should see before a sale? In our case, it's leads.
It's really how they gather data. Fundamentally, if you are going to the origin server, if you are going to the site itself, so much of that data is going to be blocked. And that's the reason why you have so many unknowns, unattributeds, direct traffic, like upwards of 40 to 70% in cases. Like, I know you have an account that you're working on that's like 60, 70% unknowns or direct. It's like you don't know where these folks are coming from, because that tag, that fire, that thing that it strings together the user is actually blocked on the origin server. That's the reason why, if you actually go to the edge, which is a DNS server, which is an edge server in essence, and then you capture that as first party data, and then you pipe it into a Wicked. Like, Wicked is good on its own for sure, with all the different MPIs that it has, but with the addition of Blotout and the addition of our data warehouse, is that sort of triangulation. That's where the key is. And it gives you insights, like actual insights, not modeled. That's a differentiator. So we're going to be repeating that so people understand it, because I do think it takes a little while for people to fundamentally get it. Because it's
that's why I want to share an example of that.
Yeah. So let's do it.
Yep, exactly right. And here's where you can use this data to also dive deep. So if a lot of people use Klaviyo or Constant Contact, whatever, some sort of email marketing tool, and that's going to be fairly important, because I think a lot of people do skip over that. They're just like, what's the spend, what's the ROAS, what's the spend, what's the sales, what's the spends, what's the conversions, but they miss like the activity and the time lag and the sales cycle. But here's a really good indicator as to why Meta was going to throw all of our cash out the window, and how we use Wicked reports to stop and reallocate it. So here's a good way to look at things. This is what I mean by predictive. So first thing, watch this. See all this red here? Like, wow, things look terrible. But because I'm using predicted, I already know that in the same time period, I spent 13% more and got 32% more customers. So it actually doesn't look as bad. It's just very accurate data. And the things that you don't see are red are the new things that are green that have high amount of spend. And this is really cool to see this.
So for those of you who are listening, so we've gotten comments on this, because some of these we take over to the audio format. People can't actually see them. So I'm going to interrupt you a little bit more here. We are looking at the inside of Wicked Reports, and we've got a level 1 CBO campaign, and we've got all the indicators at the top, costs all the way through to total revenue, ECPNV, and new visit percentage is a big part of that. And you're using this as your predictive sort of command and control center to determine whether or not your campaigns are on or off track.
Yep, exactly. Okay. And the stuff that I'll be looking at here is I'll give you an example. This is the last week's worth of data. So just last 7 days compared to the previous week. So last week over a week. New campaign that was launched. And Meta, for whatever reason, took this ad. The ad's name is Victoria. It's
a dog.
Well, yeah, it's actually, I don't even think it's a dog. We call them that because that's like the owner. It's UGC, so we call it the owner of the animal.
That was a dog name. Okay.
Yeah, I know, right? That's what I always thought. So Victoria, that'd be a fun name for a dog. Here, Victoria.
That's a good name. Hey, Victoria, come here. Sit here, Victoria.
Right? Like Bulldog Bob, that's a bulldog. So here's Victoria, and just what's interesting is out of the 13,000 that was spent in this campaign, the Victoria ad had the second highest amount. Now, this is a video ad. So this video ad has a lot of clicks and a very good ECPNV. Like if you're using the basic MPIs and you're not using more advanced MPIs, which we're going to be showing you now, you think this is a pretty kick-ass little campaign. Sure. 64% cold, 21,000 new visits of 33,000 clicks, and a effective cost per new visit of 15 cents, where this campaign is usually getting 56 cents. So wow, that is fantastic.
You're looking at this and you're going, man, I'm smart.
Exactly. Like look at all the cold traffic that's cheap and is must be clicking on the video ad because they're fantastic.
Yep.
And then you start looking at predictive indicators. Okay, what's the next logical step of your business, not of a general company campaign? This is only to do with your company. What is the next logical step that you should see before a sale? In our case, it's leads. We get a whole bunch of signups every day. So then you start looking at, okay, if you're measuring the new visits versus the leads, and then compare that to your costs, this is atrocious.
Yeah.
You got $3,200 for 8 leads. The next one down spent $1,700 for 40 leads. The next one down spent $1,000 for 33 leads. The next one down spent $1,000 for 25. Wow, this is very, very bad. Even, if you look at this, Diane spent $5,500 for 240 leads. Like this is bad. Okay, that's first indicator. This is something that high roast can't do, as an example, and Northbeam can, but with model data. So I get nervous on that because they usually take campaign extrapolated data and then they apply it, which means if the campaign is doing good, this must be doing good too. It's not the case. This campaign is doing fantastic, but it's not the case here.
You could have a really wrong indicator there based on model data, which is dangerous. Right.
This is your best campaign, so it probably came from this, and because they're video ads, so it probably had an influence. Okay, let's assume that. Yep. So it probably had an influence. It probably has more than it's attributed. Let's just use the same kind of like it probably did good. So let's investigate. All right.
It's a great example, by the way.
Right. Now you take these 8 leads. And the 8 leads, I'm looking at a few things. Boogie Boy. All right, Boogie Boy. That's the lead name. The lead name of Boogie Boy somehow
definitely a buyer.
Right? Definitely a buyer, Boogie Boy. And somehow, oh wait, why is this not loading? I think I might have. Let's just refresh and see. There we go. Is it coming up?
So he's clicking on an individual lead here and then going in. You can actually see who it is who has actually opted in for these leads.
Check this out, though. So this person in 3 seconds opted in. Okay. That seems body. All right. So let's grab another one.
So we're going into the innards, the guts of Wicked here.
This one.
Yeah. Can somebody opt in 3 seconds? Can you type your name and email in 3 seconds or less? I don't think I can.
I don't think it's physically possible. This one did it in 12.
Wow.
All right. That's really weird. So then we start looking into it generated leads. How fast did the lead generate itself after an ad click? Well, within 10 seconds. So you mean to tell me they went to the site and say, I love it, and I really want to sign up for discounts, and I think I'm going to get something tomorrow, and I want to get a deal, and let's do it today. Everybody did that? There's another one. 6 seconds.
6 seconds.
Then let's dive deeper. I said, okay, if that is the case, let's go and take these people's names and physically put it into our Klaviyo and then investigate further. They got 1 page view, never subscribed, have no opens, no click, nothing. Not even an ad card, nothing on this person. Okay. Try that again. So now I'm taking number 2. I grab the second lead that I'm using. I'm going to throw that into my Klaviyo account and say, what about this person? This person again, no activity on the right, never opted in, never subscribed. All this stuff here, junk.
Yep.
You can get a lead, but then you're also saying, what's the quality of lead? How long did the lead take that lead to actually opted in?
Yeah.
Junk again. So after all this junk, and then now just imagine that, we looked through a bunch of those and they were all false because that's what we did. I'm just trying to save time here. And I said, well, let's compare that to maybe like a different campaign. Let's compare that campaign to something like this. Or actually, you know what? Better yet, let's look at a different ad in that existing campaign.
So let's look at, by the way, like all we're doing here is just observing. We're not making any changes.
Nope.
We're looking into something that looks a bit fishy and then finding that presupposition, that inkling is actually probably accurate because most of these are at Yahoo, at Gmail, all of that, which is a pure indication that it's spam or it's, those guys that fill out forms for no apparent reason. I really don't get it. But anyway, it's a business model. Right.
Yep.
At Yahoo.
Yep. And that's funny. This one is from the different ad though. Same time period, same campaign, different ad. This one got a whole bunch of sessions and even have an order that happened yesterday. Wow. That's way better than the other one.
Interesting.
So, okay, let's grab another one. Let's grab the second one down here. And we started looking through a bunch of these. We took like 20 different snapshots. Email never subscribed, but this one has a bunch of visits now. Okay, good. The other ones had 0 visits. On the right-hand side, when we were sharing this, no visit data. Now,
so all we're doing is taking out the email address, putting it into Klaviyo, and like looking at the sessions. That's
we're just seeing,
we're double checking.
Real. Right. Do they opt in 3 seconds and disappear into the ether? Yep. Or did they opt in 4 and 5 minutes and then come back to site multiple times? And and this is, I mean, imagine how specific this is. This is 2 different ads in the same campaign.
Yeah.
This is wildly different results.
Crazy.
Now, if you want to jump ahead, you just say, well, what's the NCAC? And then you're like, oh, God, this thing's like 3,000 compared to 200. So that's a really good indicator right there. But not if there's time lag, not if it's a video campaign, not if, okay, so you could make the assumption where it's like, yeah, but it's a video campaign. It's influencing a whole bunch of other people, and they're probably going to buy anyway. But because we have leading indicators, I can tell you, well, I don't care because 33,000 of them clicked. Mm-hmm. I should have some data.
Yeah.
And I don't have that here.
Is that the only ad in that ad set that's a video ad? It's the only one. Okay.
The only one that's in the video ad and the only one that's not performing.
Yeah. Super
It's super interesting. But this is the leading indicator. So I know that this campaign, and this is spending $3,200 out of the 13 grand. I have everything else is doing better, not getting any love or any ad spend. But why is Meta pushing this? It's getting clicks.
It's going into the video ether.
And it's getting clicks. Meta. It's getting a shit ton of engagement. It's got a crazy click-through rate.
It's probably all on the audience network.
Exactly. And so what's funny is Meta's like, hey, this is kick-ass. Meta's predictive indicator failed.
Right.
Tier 11's data suite's predictive indicator won against Meta. Are you kidding me?
It's a big deal.
Yeah. We beat Meta at the predictive indicator of their algorithm.